to the mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the mashup.
I can't hear a word you're saying. Just saying that. I know everybody wants to hear Two's rant, but Two's has gone obsolete here. No rant this week from Two's, it seems.
How about this?
Oh, there you are.
Okay. All right. So, you may or may not know this about Two's, but he doesn't have a lot of respect for the NDP. In fact, he thinks they're a bunch of goofs. And so you think, like, what is the coolest, most amazing thing that Two's could ever receive? And you're right if you guessed leaked audio of Sarah Hoffman, former deputy premier of Alberta, doing stand-up comedy. I literally have this, and it's garbage. It's horrible. Here's the thing. I've got a little over 5 minutes of Sarah Hoffman doing stand-up, and it is so bad that I can't even play it to make fun of it. Just to prove to you that I have it, though.
You're just sitting there waiting to trip dry before you waddle back to your room. Oh, and this one, you know how no sexual activity? I thought that's, at first I was like, well, yeah, you could just spend 10 days masturbating in your room.
Okay. That's Sarah Hoffman, the former Minister of Health for the NDP in Alberta. And this is so bad. I can't make fun of it without being a complete dick. This would be like finding, the Spaniards. They're going through the Amazon trying to find the fountain of youth. Now just imagine these conquistadors. They break through the jungle and it's right there. Oh, and somebody just put a big turd in it. That's what this is. The NDP ruined everything. Everything. I am so mad about I have been sitting on this for months, not knowing what to do with it. It's they even screw up being screw-ups.
Mashup 179, folks. It seems we're having issues with the Facebook live stream, so I don't know what's going on there. So it just keeps kicking us off, which is par for the course, it seems, for this show. It's like it's so good. Nobody, some of the major streamers are like, yeah, we don't know if we want any of this coming out right now. So
maybe
not that people are watching on Facebook right now, but if you're hopping over from Facebook going, where the heck's a mashup? Or probably what's going to happen on my phone is I'm going to start getting texts. It's live on X, YouTube, and Rumble, I think is the places it's going. So Mashup 179, how's Two's doing this week?
I mean, Two's is mad about the whole Sarah Hoffman thing. Other than that, he's doing good. How's Sean?
I'm on.
Don't
Yeah.
No, unless you got bones, huh?
Threw my back out on Monday, and it has been an interesting week.
You ever wonder if you're too old for twerking?
Yeah, that's exactly how I did. I was twerking, and no, I did not do that. I was working on a project around the house, shoveling some dirt, and that was the end of it. So it's been an interesting week on this side too. But I tell you what, I had a good day yesterday. Lots of different interviews going on,
nice.
And then and people watch follow along with the podcast. This morning I released Clyde Do Something. Normally I have episodes Monday through Thursday. I have been in podcasting frenzy, I guess, Two's. And
nice.
So we released one this morning too, Clyde Do Something, talking about Bill C8 and then the fact he's leaving to the United States. So that was interesting to hear his thoughts on that. So if people want to go listen to that, they can.
One of my favorite people. So
well, I mean, one of the things about Clyde that this show knows, we teamed up with him for the 12-hour live stream of the federal election, and that was a huge success. We both know that. Clyde knows that. I think a ton of the people tuning in that day knew that, and that was one of the guys we teamed up with was Clyde. So, it's been an interesting week, and we got lots to get to.
You're not the only person who noticed. Morning, guys. Did you guys
know.
plan your outfits today? Matchy.
Twinsies. We
Everything's
did not
twins.
plan this. I gave Twos the option. Like, hey, do you want to maybe change your shirt? He's like, no, we're rocking twinsies today. So
Well, I
twinsies
didn't
it
say
is.
the word twins. You're the one who brought up the word twins.
Twinsies. Well,
Seems
I'm the
like
better
kind of an
looking twin.
obsession.
You know how, I'm the better looking twin. That's all there is to it.
You're definitely Danny DeVito here.
Yeah, sure. You're trying to say you're Arnold? I'd love to have some comments. Who's the better looking twin today?
Oh,
Hey, let's
that'll
start
be good.
this thing. Let's start this thing off on the right.
All right.
Okay. We got lots to good day from Alaska. Well, good day, David. Nice to have you in. That's sweet. All right. Let's start this day off right. Happy Airborne Friday to Jamie Sinclair and the boys. If you're interested in shooting some guns with Jamie, October 26th, you might want to come to Lloydminster for that. Prophet River supplying the ammo for that. And another military guy going to be there, Chuck Prodnick, and Rockhill Taka from the CCFR. So we'll get to that in community notes. But a happy Airborne Friday to the military boys out there. If you're enjoying the show, you like the show, stop what you're doing right now. If you're on X, hit the retweet button. Send us out a little further. And
show us some love.
If you're on YouTube,
let's get into it.
Subscribe. Make sure you're not missing.
We're 6 minutes into the show already.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, fine. Twos is going to rush me? Interesting twinsy start. Twos hasn't. Come on, Kevin. Really? Twos has a nicer hat. Yeah, well, that's because he doesn't have the hairdo to show off. Okay.
Why are you filibustering?
Because I'm happy today. I got my backwards on yesterday, and I tell you what, I'm feeling just a little better today. Just feeling a little better, Twos. Okay, Coot 6.5.
There's anything there to even work
Let's
on.
start with Tamara and Chris.
Spineless.
Really? Okay. Tamara and Chris, 18 months house arrest. I mean, that's the big news. They were just on the show last week. Your thoughts on 18 months?
I hated that my first knee-jerk reaction was, oh, wow, thank God they didn't get the 7 and 8 years. And then I was like, no. There should be literally no punishment for this. This is insane. The whole thing is insane. And the fact that they even had to go through this, let alone the house arrest afterwards, is all insane. And this country is broken.
Yeah, I think a lot of us defaulted to what you're talking about, too. So it's like, oh, they didn't get the 7 or 8 years. Thank goodness. They can work. They can go back home. And then you're like, but wait a second. They got 18 months? I mean, and they dragged them through everything, millions of dollars, everything over the last, if it's about the hat, then yes. Oh boy. All right. Anyways, Twos is throwing up comments for people. Tamara and Chris, I think everybody's behind you. And yeah, the answer that I sent Chris was, I was hoping for, time served. Let's move on with life. I think a lot of us were fearful they were going to throw the absolute book at them. So we were happy, a little bit of a reprieval of 18 months house arrest, all these different things. But the longer you stare and look at it, we all know it should have been 0. It should have been, this is done, and walk away and just carry on with life. But that's not the way the machine works. So
no. And meanwhile, Coots guys are in for 6.5 years. And we've got Manitoba man gets lighter manslaughter sentence due to
Indigenous status.
Did Tamara's Indigenous status factor into the sentencing? I don't remember hearing anything about that.
Don't hear anything about that. And then a shooting suspect with killer past out on bail already. And here's the detective. Here's the quote from the detective. He's a real fucking treat. One detective told the Sun. He's out on bail already. Guns, assault, manslaughter, violence. He's the whole package. This is just another example of how career criminals continue to be released in a Canadian society without anyone caring, particularly politicians. It just keeps happening again and again.
And
that's
just
a detective.
To be clear, I was just going to say, and who said that again? That's
one of the detectives. Yeah, that's the cop. So,
all right.
We got a correction.
Yeah, we do. So we had talked a few weeks ago about how Mark Carney had set up that fake shantytown housing construction thing. And Toronto Star, very thorough organization. writes this very long article, fact checking people like us, Northern Perspective, other people who talked about it, and they said that it was misleading because technically the shanties that they had partially built are meant to be used for construction at some point. So they didn't just build them out of scrap lumber just to leave them there. They are partially constructed modular homes. And so the fact that we said that they set this whole thing up for the press gallery was misleading because technically speaking, those are partially built shanty homes.
And it was part of the plan too, as well. It was part of the plan to show people how they're constructed.
Yeah.
That was part of the plan. And the other thing we pointed out is it was a $13 billion budget on 4,000 homes. And then we started doing the math on that, and a whole bunch of people did. That didn't make sense. And they pointed out, well, no, there's going to be 4,000 homes built on 6 spots, but they're also doing other things with the money, like sending these modular homes to Nunavut.
Yeah. So, yes, well, technically, yes, but they're also spending it on other things too. That's exactly where we were going with this, is that the money is going other places.
Yes.
But yeah, so Toronto Star, kudos to you for really just keeping your finger on the pulse of keeping us honest and you know.
It wasn't a twos correction, was it? Like, I saw corrections.
Correction.
Well, usually you're like, I spoke out of turn. This is actually what they said. Here's a correction. And this correction was kind of like, it left you wanting more. The long thing, you're like, that wasn't much of a correction.
So they're not really saying that anything we said was wrong.
It was misleading too. It was misleading.
Yeah, it was misleading. Well, it was malinformation. It was.
Here's a Globe in the Mail a headline. Public Safety Minister says he wants to push through refined warrantless access powers to help police. Public Safety Minister Gary Anand Sandagri has said he has not abandoned controversial powers in the original Strong Borders bill, giving law enforcement the right to obtain information without a warrant, but he wants to refine them to avoid accusations of overreach. Bill C2 would have enabled police and the Canadian Security Intelligence Service to demand to know if people had used services such as telecom provider, hotel, or doctor without needing a warrant, but the new slimmed-down variant known as Bill C12 would not grant law enforcement these powers. But he's going to work on it.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I mean, this guy's got a lot of different works in progress. We could have devoted probably about 20 minutes of the show today to just the ongoing shit.
To Gary?
That is Gary.
Not the other Randy, Gary. It's now Gary.
I feel like Gary the other Randy.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Like he should just change his name to Other Randy and Zangari.
We should just have a segment, the Other Randy, and just show where he's at these days. Because I would, like that was such.
You know what? Yeah, I'd love to know what he's up to lately.
I'd love to know what he's up. We always show Justin Trudeau, but I'm like, it'd be cool to know what the Other Randy's actually doing these days.
Well, anyways, the Other Randy never existed.
Correct, but that could be a lot of fun too. We could have a spoof on this. It could be. People could send us ideas. We could run with that. I think that could be a skit. All right. Yeah, Gary's going to be the new Randy. It just seems like he's going to pop up more and more.
Yep.
Alberta will need BC government's backing to build proposed pipeline energy from the energy minister. Canada's energy minister says Alberta will need to get its neighboring province on board in order to see its proposed pipeline project to the west coast come to fruition. To build, you need support of the jurisdiction you build through, and you need support of First Nations. Hodgson's said during an appearance before the Senate on Thursday.
So first off, no, the fuck you do not. Federal pipelines are under federal jurisdiction. If you want us to work within the laws as they're written, you should also be following along. This is the same thing when the Liberals back in the day gave Quebec a veto over Energy East. It was just going to go through the bottom corner, just a little dibble up. And they're like, no, we don't want it. And they said, okay, well, Quebec doesn't want it. You're like, it doesn't fucking matter. They're part of this whole cohesive group. If
this is going to be the problem of building anything in Canada.
Well, if BC gets a veto, just explain it to me. Just walk me through this. What exactly is the fucking point of Confederation if not to get people who disagree together for the greater good. And we all know how much we love the greater good on this show.
You want to show?
But here's an actual greater good. And if the whole greater good argument falls apart, what is the point?
You want to show the video of Quebec?
Oh, yes, actually.
Speaking of Quebec.
Speaking of fucking Quebec.
Blanchet.
He really is the most effective politician in this
Can you
country.
repeat on the bill that was just tabled in Quebec on a Quebec constitution? Can you repeat in English what your reaction is to that?
Oh, in English, it will be much shorter than in French. If the National Assembly of Quebec, l'Assemblée nationale du Québec, which is the only voice of the Quebec nation as a nation, wants to have discussions about a constitution, it's none of Canada's business.
Well put. And
so are we just going to start calling Alberta Nation? The Alberta Nation?
Yeah, the nation of Alberta or
the
possibly
nation
Buffalo.
of Alberta? Yes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, this is coming from somebody who is a fierce and proud Quebec separatist, right? The rest of Canada has no say in it, nor should the rest of Canada have a say as far as Alberta, Saskatchewan, the north half of BC, the north half of Manitoba, and the territories above it go. If individuals want to leave, think about it like a club, like 4-H. If you want to leave 4-H, you just don't go anymore. It's not, you don't have to get approval from everybody else in the club to leave 4-H. Why should it be any different for any sort of a group? If we want to leave the UN at some point, are they going to be like, no, you have to stay in the UN? You'd be like, look, we're not sending any money. We're not sending any people. Leave us on the books if you want, but for all intents and purposes, we gone.
Here's the National Post headline. Meet Canada's estimated deficit. 100 billion.
100 billion. So keep in mind that Chrystia Freeland resigned over about 68 billion, was it?
Roughly.
About 68 billion. Less than a year ago, Chrystia Freeland resigned over 68 billion, which then became about 87 billion after they didn't have the capital gains new tax to bring in all of that extra money. And now, less than a year later,
100 billion.
They're spending almost twice as much money as Justin Trudeau did. Do you have any idea how insane that sounds? Like, just imagine you go back in time to like literally any point in the past decade, and somebody says, we need to get rid of Trudeau. And you'd be like, yeah, I hear you, but he's a part-timer. He's an idiot. And the next guy is actually going to show up and put in a 40-hour work week. He's going to be everything Justin Trudeau is except lazy. If you've got somebody on the opposite side who just can't be bothered to give a shit about the things that he's fucking up, you should probably just leave him be. Because it's going to be better than the alternative. Like, remember what I said? Like, the one nice, it sucks that on the one hand, he's constantly going on these stupid vacations and costing us tons of money. But on the other hand, that's time that he's not in Ottawa fucking things up even more. Well, now we got that.
You want to show Milton Friedman?
Yeah. So just when we're talking about the deficit, this is one of the greatest economists who's ever lived.
As I said before, keep your eye on one thing and one thing only, how much government is spending, because that's the true tax. Every budget is balanced. There is no such thing as an unbalanced federal budget. You're paying for it. If you're not paying for it through it in the form of explicit taxes, you're paying for it indirectly in the form of inflation or in the form of borrowing. The thing you should keep your eye on is what government spends. And the real problem is to hold down government spending as a fraction of our income. And if you do that, you can stop worrying about the debt.
Well put.
There's probably nothing to add to that, really.
Well,
We're paying attention to how much the government's going to spend, and it's going to be a lot.
It's Do you feel as though how would our lives be worse if they cut $100 billion in spending? Like, just when the average person looks at their day-to-day comings and goings and everything else, you look all around you and you say, if the federal government spent $100 billion less than what they're currently spending on things, how will it affect my life? I'm guessing it won't. For me, if the government spent $100 billion less on stuff, at the very least, it would be the same, but it would probably be a lot better.
Here's Blacklocks. Canadians must be very, very careful. That ruthless governments do not steal their rights. Attorney General Sean Fraser yesterday told reporters. Fraser complained provinces' lawful use of the Charter of Rights, notwithstanding clause, could spell our future downfall as a nation.
I find it interesting that this is, I think, the first time I've ever heard somebody from the Liberals talk about the future downfall of our nation. Almost like maybe they're just kind of knowing it's coming. And that makes me hopeful.
Every once in a while, you surprise me. Yeah, I did not see that coming. All right. The Globe and Mail. It's humiliating to kowtow to Trump. But what choice did Carney have?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost as though going down there in a conciliatory fashion, conversing with him as an individual, traveling to his events, sitting down mano a mano, almost might be a good strategy to have. I wonder, it's too bad that we didn't have anybody in politics, like maybe Danielle Smith doing that months ago, and everybody was calling her a traitor, basically. So is Mark Carney a traitor for doing the exact same thing? If Danielle Smith did something and she was called a traitor for that thing that she did, if Mark Carney does the exact same thing, is he not also a traitor? If you just saw the story and you didn't know who did it, all you just with blank went down and met with Trump, would you say blank is a traitor? If the answer is yes, no matter who it is, then you're consistent. If the answer is no matter who it is, then you're consistent. And if the answer depends on whose name is in the blank, you're on the left.
Yeah, well, we know that's a self-explanatory answer.
But here's classic Globe and Mail.
Sure.
So these are, look, Team Canada is giving Trump a beating in the tariff war from March 12th. And this is written by a guy named Lawrence Martin. Now, that was in March. Here we go. Fast forward. Lawrence Martin. It's humiliating to kowtow to Trump, but what choice does Carney have? The same guy writing the exact opposite opinion on the exact same subject. Because it's not, he wrote the same articles. Or the same guy wrote both articles.
Yes, I know.
Just imagine being like,
you got to jump through the hoops to get things to align for you too.
Dogs are way better than cats. Dogs are superior to
acrobats.
Cats. And here's all these reasons why. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, without even acknowledging the previous article, you're like, cats are better than dogs. And shitting in a box is the way to go. Here's all the reasons why.
On that trip, it's been reported Carney raised Keystone XL pipeline revival and meeting with Trump. So that is something to keep our eyes on here in Alberta.
Yeah, well, I will say this. Danielle Smith has done a very exemplary job of putting Mark Carney's tiny British nuts into a vice.
You like the interview with Vasi Kaplanos.
Well, Vasi Kaplanos is the only person in the mainstream media I have any time for. And even when she's asking, she's definitely got an Eastern perspective on things.
Sure.
But she does ask pretty fair questions, and she is willing to go into the paint with these guys. I don't know. Have you seen that new show or that new podcast, Can't Be Censored, with Travis Danraj?
I haven't.
Oh, well, it's kind of just, you're like, okay, it's good that he's doing this, but then you kind of question the motives because, he's kind of basically been blacklisted by legacy media at this point. So the obvious thing for him to do would be to start a podcast at this point. And so, you know, he did one with him and his co-host. He did one with Pierre Poilievre. He did one with Elizabeth May. And there was a lot of really easy things that he could have pushed back with both of those guests on, but didn't. And so it's kind of just puff pieces. Whereas like Vasi Kaplos
Pushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you said was the most insanely idiotic thing I've ever heard in my entire life. At no point in this rambling, incoherent mess did you.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
if I go back to Danielle Smith being on there, she
Yeah.
pushes her on pipelines, and she
Yes,
says, "Oh,
and
we're going
then-
to try and do everything possible in Canada. If Canada's going to work, we're going to get things done." And if that doesn't happen, and I'm paraphrasing, and I'm probably pulling it a little out of how Danielle said it, but she's like, "Well, if it doesn't, we can always explore things with the United States." It was a very politically correct way of saying, "Get this
fuck around
through."
and find out.
Right. It was
Yeah.
it was very well done.
Oh,
When
yeah,
you talk about
absolutely.
praising Danielle Smith for how she's navigated this, you're not wrong.
Well, and you know, looking at the Northern Gateway, which, like, let's just go look back at the Northern Gateway from 10, 12 years ago. It went through $1 billion application process with the National Energy Board and was approved, or technically it's recommended for approval, is what the National Energy Board did, which is essentially approved. And then Justin Trudeau vetoed it. So you have an entire pipeline with everything laid out, the entire route, all the consultation, everything done at every point. It's literally just sitting there on a shelf, not allowed to move forward because of liberal politics. And so for Danielle Smith to just go take it off the shelf and dust it off, and then to hand it off to that newly minted bullshit office in Calgary and be like, look, can we do this? This is what you guys are here for, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't this what you guys are here for? It's a masterful stroke. And at the same time, you look at how forward thinking the Liberals are in terms of ensuring their going concern as the people in charge. And you're like, they kind of just set themselves up for it and didn't see it coming.
Lululemon founder fined by Elections BC for a sign saying NDP is communist. Here's the actual sign. Ebby will tell you the Conservatives are far right, but neglects saying that the NDP is communist. And he's been fined $600.
Yeah, they find a billionaire $600. I thought it was $500, but either way, can I just say for the record, the NDP is communist.
Oh man!
So if anybody from Elections BC is watching, let me repeat that: the NDP is communist.
I just chuckle at that. $600. Chip Wilson probably looked at that and was like, "Easiest $600 I ever spent." Like, I mean, I don't know. That's
yeah. He
funny.
just pulls out his wallet and he's like, "Here, just keep the fucking change. Go buy yourself some stretchy pants."
Clients of a lobby firms connected to Premier, his nephew given tens of millions in training funds. Clients of lobbying firms with close connections to Premier Doug Ford and his nephew have been hugely successful in applying to the province's Skills Development Fund, a grant program Ontario Auditor General recently characterized as not fair, transparent, or accountable. Clients of a single firm, Rubicon Strategy, have received more than $100 million from the Skills Development Fund, according to a Trillium analysis of government spending logs and lobbying records. Rubicon is owned by Corey Tenick, the Premier's campaign manager.
Yeah. Doesn't that just stink a little bit? $100 million to your company, and you're the campaign manager for the Premier. Like, you cannot defend that.
No, it's just another conflict of interest that just seems to run rampant in Canadian politics.
How many
Canadian
$16
society.
orange juices can you buy for $100 million?
Here's one that's, man, this story is more and more concerning. Canada has achieved a grim medical milestone, the world's first successful heart transplant from a patient euthanized via MAID. A 38-year-old man with ALS was lethally injected. Just 7 minutes after his heart stopped, it was reanimated, transported to the U.S., and transplanted. This marks a terrifying new frontier in organ donation after euthanasia. ODE, where Canada is now a world leader. The numbers are here. It is 136 of the 286 global ODE cases. That is organ donation after euthanasia. Cases by 2021 were Canadian. So, yeah, 5% of all organ transplants in Canada in 2024 used organs from the euthanized.
Made. To be clear, they're talking about euthanasia, but it has nothing to do with children in China. It's made.
You want to show Bukele?
I want to talk about this for a quick second.
Oh, okay, sure.
I find it just terribly interesting that the one time the government isn't wasting anything, it's leftover parts from people that decided to die because they couldn't continue going on in this broken fucking country. Like, well, the First Nations used to use every part of the animal, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slowly pay off the budget in Prince Edward Island, one kidney at a time. How fucking dark are these people?
You know, the first time I ever heard about this was China. Like this trait of like taking organs from a group of people and then like using them for organ transplants.
That was the Uyghurs.
Yes. Doesn't this, like, I'm like, this is straight out of the China playbook.
Welcome to Canada, Sean.
I know. I just saying it was remember on the show, what was it? Was it a year ago, 6 months ago? Remember, it was 4.7% of deaths, almost 1 in 20 in Canada, were made. And now the more shocking stat is that, or another shocking stat, I shouldn't say the more, is that now of those people using made, they're taking their organs and giving them and selling them elsewhere.
I don't want the government involved in any of this. Look, if things aren't working out for you, first off, there's people you could talk to. But if you do decide to go down that route, I would strongly recommend you drink a bunch of cadmium or just a whole shit ton of whiskey before you get murdered so that they can't use those organs.
Man, it's just show the Bukele video. I assume you want to show his comments. Well, his comments on human rights.
Well, I mean, he didn't have a video, but
yeah, he did. So, yeah.
Well, I didn't see. Where's the video?
Oh, well, son of a bee. I'll see if I can find it. He had a video of where he talks about everybody's concerned about the human rights of a killer, but not of kids and the victims and on and on. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, well.
Okay.
I'll see if I can pull it up and send it to you. Okay. Strike. Do you have a headline for me this week?
No.
For the love of Pete. Come on. The story just keeps going on in a far lost galaxy.
It's a walk-off. It's a walk-off.
It's a walk-off. That's right. Okay. Here's the new postal worker strike. Canada Post new offers to the striking workers, removes a previously offered signing bonus, proposes to reduce both the company's workforce and the number of post offices that are off limits from closures. The union said the company wants workers to accept what they overwhelmingly rejected a vote 2 months ago. Canada Post says the situation is urgent, but has used one stalling tactic after another to avoid serious negotiations. Postal workers can't wait. The public can't wait. CUPW said.
Yeah, a signing bonus of $500 to $1,000 per employee is no longer on the table, Canada Post said, due to the company's deteriorating financial situation. This is good. They're actually listening. Maybe they're actually listening to us right now, because this is kind of what we've been saying they need to do. Is you just say, look, the cupboards are empty. And the next thing for them to do is they just go back to them every day with a slightly shittier offer. Okay, you know what? Here's our counter offer. Everybody gets a 10% pay cut. And then they say, nope, you're insane. We reject it. Okay, fair enough. Next morning, like right at 9:00. We thought about our current offer and we agree with you that it's unsustainable. Everybody gets an 11% pay cut. And then the next day it's 12% and 13%. That's what you do. In this situation, the meager, shitty organization that is Canada Post holds every card in this because they know that they're fucked. They have literally nothing to lose. And the longer the strikes last, the better it is for them financially. So they just go in, and every day that offer gets a little bit worse. Start off with one that you can accept, which I don't think they're at personally, but start off with one that you could accept. And every day it gets a little bit worse. And eventually that union is going to cave. And what? Half the workforce quits, worst case scenario? You were going to fire them anyway. Now you don't have to do severance packages.
Yeah. How many billions of dollars are they losing to?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about a strong negotiating position, it's not, right? So
no, it really is because
from the government standpoint, it is from the union.
It's a crown corporation. It's not the government technically. But here's the thing: is if you and I, our contract's up, and the Mashup made $17 million last year, and you say to me, Twos, I just want to slice that pie, and I say to you, there's no room in the budget. You could say, I know there's room in the budget, motherfucker, and then we go battle, right? But if the Mashup lost $1 billion last year, and you say, hey, I got kids to feed, I say, look, I don't care. There's no fucking money.
Another strike, Alberta teacher strike.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting texts insane amount about this, right? So I reached out to the head of the Alberta Teachers Union, and
the Alberta Teachers Association.
Thank you.
Not technically a union.
Correct.
It walks like a duck. It quacks like a duck.
Correct.
But apparently it's not a duck.
I haven't. You can be shocked. Probably not. I haven't heard anything back from that. I do it like just before we get into the Alberta Teacher Prompts petition.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on the current strike?
On the teacher's strike?
Yes.
Yeah. At what point is enough? They're making that's not fair. They're making half again more than the median income in this province with a defined benefit pension and summers off and a shit ton of days off in the meantime. You're not outside.
You're not
going to find a lot of sympathy.
That's all right.
You're not going to find a lot of sympathy for teachers from guys who have spent any meaningful amount of time freezing their dicks off in minus 40 trying to get a bunch of cold iron to work right.
Yeah,
for less money.
One of the big complaints I've seen is class sizes. But the problem with class sizes, I think they've already talked about building a whole ton of schools, correct?
Yeah, and
they've
also
already talked about
class size has no correlation with student outcome. Japan has some of the smartest people in the world, and they have also some of the largest class sizes.
I'd be curious what their immigration looks like.
Almost nil. They've actually done a thing where they're trying to get more men to come in, and like it's not quite sex tourism, but if you've got any sort of Japanese lineage, they'll just give you a visa in hopes that you just start spreading your seed into the wind.
The class sizes, I wonder how much is the class, because when you point to Japan, you point they got zero. Are they dealing with 7 languages in a classroom? I'm not saying that's every classroom in Alberta, but certainly the influx of people coming from all over the planet, having kids, and them coming in, you can see how that can be troublesome.
Yeah, I could see that. By the way, at what point are we going to start a conspiracy theory that the official immigration numbers are totally fucking wrong?
We can start that today. I don't know. Is that a conspiracy theory?
It's about to be. I have a sneaking suspicion that there are far more people in this country right now as recent
They're
immigrants
reporting.
than are being reported on the official numbers. Now,
If
it
we
doesn't
have-
matter. You go to a big city, a small town, it doesn't matter. You're like, there's no way this is like 10%.
If we have any teachers watching right now, I would love it if somebody could give us like an actual update on what they're hearing, like from their own association. I don't know what they're allowed to share, not share, but I'd just be curious. I'd just be curious to hear from somebody who is inside that thing, because I know we do have a few different Alberta teachers that listen to the show. So I'd be curious. Now, one of the Alberta teachers is prompting a petition on province's private school funding. High school chemistry teacher Alicia Taylor gets her if she gets her wish, Albertans will vote in a referendum on whether to end public funding to independent schools. Taylor is also a Calgary district representative on the Alberta Teachers Association's governing council, but said she's starting the petition as an individual. I think it's wrong to have the highest rate of funding for private schools in a province where we have the lowest rate of funding for public schools.
I don't feel like we should. There's nothing good I can say about public schools at this point, especially when you compare it to private schools. And the fact that they're not very cheap. Private schools are not cheap, even with all of that. Like there's one in Calgary that's like 17 grand a year or something. And that's on top of whatever funding they get from the government. It's 17 grand a year per kid. And you're like, okay, and people are still, there's waiting lists. That's how bad the public schools are, is that there's people who look at that and say, no, I'll pay $1,500 a month to have my kid go to this school rather than the free one that the government provides. Let the market decide.
Man, I tell you what,
I think it's really funny, by the way, that she's in this leadership role at the ATA, but it's like, I'm signing this as an individual. Like, imagine if Danielle Smith said, I'm starting a referendum on Alberta separation, but I'm doing it not as premier, but as an individual.
I just got this sent to me. In alignment with our usual practice, the ATA intends to avoid bargaining in the media or issuing premature and ill-considered commentary for the sake of making noise. However, we will provide accurate and timely updates to association leaders and to members as we are able, understanding the critical concern that members have around collective bargaining. And then it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, they don't want to speak out of turn and screw up the negotiation process. I'd say that's fair. But on the other hand, you've got quite a few people who have to figure out what's going on with their kids, and they probably deserve to be updated. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say, you got offered a shit ton more money and you said no. Here's why, and here's what more we need.
Do you want to switch to the NDP?
No, I want to show this real quick. This is a sign that a teacher did and posted on Twitter for a protest. And so it says, pipelines need engineers, engineers need schools. And there's this janky pipeline with an apple in the middle of it, cutting it in two. And teachers blocking off critical infrastructure seems to be a little bit on the nose, and I'm not sure if she realizes the point that she's actually making.
NDP.
But hey, this is our school system.
The NDP are not a serious party, too.
Okay, this was great. I just saw this morning, and it made my day. Brian Passafume, been on the show before, absolute beauty. Yesterday marked the 10th anniversary of the federal NDP purchasing front page wraps in major newspapers across Canada, among the costliest ad buys available, only to goof the spelling of their leader's name. And here's a picture of the wrap. It says, in Edmonton, only Thomas Mukler can defeat Stephen Harper. Thomas Mukler.
And
This is right up there.
Actually says Tom, but carry on.
Sorry, pardon me. Tom Mukler.
Read
That's
the
not
headline.
really the
Tews.
important
read
part
the headline.
here, Sean.
I know.
That's not really the important part.
Just read
here,
the headline,
Sean.
Tews.
It's
okay?
Mukler. This is like when they spelled Saskatchewan wrong, when the Saskatchewan NDP spelled Saskatchewan wrong, or when the Yukon NDP said that the Yukon NDP will something environment. This is right up there. I didn't even know that this had happened, and I'm so glad that I saw it. There's a whole lot of stupid things that the NDP did this week. There's a rare act of contrition from David Eby. I'm just going to play like the first 10 seconds.
Oh, you're going to play the clip? Okay.
Yeah. No.
I was wrong on drug decriminalization.
The audio was a little faint, but he just said, I was wrong on drug decriminalization. That's
correct.
Here's another tweet from him saying BC has billions in shovel-ready projects ready to go. The obvious question being, if you have billions of dollars in shovel-ready projects ready to go, what the fuck is the holdup? Just go. Just do it. Do it. Oh, yeah. Alberta wants to get all these projects done. Well, BC has a whole bunch of projects ready to go. Well, fucking build them, you fucking idiot.
Avi Lewis?
Yeah. Okay. So he was talking about the Keystone Party or the Keystone XL pipeline. Avi Lewis is one of the NDP leadership hopefuls. So he's a guy who's wanting to be become the next Jagmeet Singh. He said Keystone XL died the first time because it was a climate catastrophe without a viable business case. Nope, that's not true at all. First of all, it's still there. He's talking about phase 4 or 5 of the Keystone project, which was the expansion, which got vetoed by Joe Biden. And nowhere in this tweet does it say veto or Joe Biden. And so, yeah, he's pretending to be ideological while ignoring facts.
You'd like to see an NDP correction?
I'd like to see an NDP correction. But I will say this, though, that this Avi Lewis guy almost perfectly reflects the thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and reasonings in the NDP party today, and that he is probably the best possible person to represent that on a national stage.
Do you want to show? Well, I can bring this one up too. There's Julia Hader, she, her.
Yeah, isn't that funny? So she says more than 60% of women are minimum wage earners. And then somebody jumped in with a fact check. Based on 2024 Alberta minimum wage profile, 5.2% of workers earn minimum wage. That means that 114,000 workers, of which 58.8% were women. So it's not 5% of workers, or pardon me, she says 60% of women are minimum wage workers. So if you know 5 women, 3 of them are working and earning minimum wage. Does that sound correct? Like any random 5 women in Alberta, 3 of them are working, and not only that, but they're working at minimum wage.
Did we mention the NDP are not a serious party?
Yeah, they don't. Just because one goes the other way doesn't mean it goes the other way. You're not going to jump to that stuff. We're not done with the NDP yet.
Okay. Tooz is having a time here on the NDP dime.
Angler. NDP 2026 release. This is a guy who's also a leadership hopeful for the federal NDP. The much anticipated policy platform offers a fresh direction for the NDP in Canada. And then he's got a couple quotes here. NDP 2026 is a blast from the past with an eye to the future, noted J.S. Woodsworth. I see a lot of what the party was created to do in NDP 2026, said Tommy Douglas. Now, if you don't know who J.S. Woodsworth is, that's because he died in 1942. And Tommy Douglas died in 1986. The NDP are not a serious party, but I will say this. Out of all the people who are wanting to become leader of this party, I don't think there's anybody out there who more accurately encapsulates their thoughts, beliefs, reasoning, and direction than Eve Engler. And I sincerely hope that for the sake of the party, he wins, because he will be the best and most accurate representation of them on the world stage.
We've been tracking drivers now for months and months. And what do you want? You give me a hard time about not
Rob
moving this thing along.
Ashton.
Oh my God. Okay.
Rob Ashton is a guy who's putting his hat into the ring for the NDP leadership on the federal level. Here is a video of him standing in solidarity with a bunch of college students who are protesting by walking out of their college. Now, for those of you who don't understand the way college or universities work, it's transactional. You go there and you buy a service. You get a thing. You get the knowledge and the certification, and you take that. And they're walking out mid-transaction and protesting. This would be like if, I don't know, if Hollywood did something you didn't like, and you went to the movie theater, bought a ticket, sat down, and then halfway through the movie, you got up and left as a way to show that you don't support Hollywood. That's what these people are doing. And this guy is wearing a stupid fucking hat and standing in solidarity with them. And as far as I'm concerned, Sean, this is the kind of guy who perfectly encapsulates the thoughts, beliefs, reasoning, and life approach that is representative in the NDP party today. And I sincerely hope that he wins, because I can't see anybody else being a more fair and accurate representation of who they are on the world stage.
Didn't you just say the guy before was the most accurate? You literally just said two guys are the most accurate representation of the NDP.
I said it 3 times, Sean.
3. Okay.
I said it
3.
for literally all 3 of
Fair
the
enough.
giant buffoons that we talked about in this segment.
Can we move on to drivers? You were talking about pace on this thing. You've sat and steamed on the NDP now for like 10 minutes.
Let's be honest. They're pretty steamy already. What do you want to talk about with drivers?
I want to talk about drivers because we've been talking about this. You didn't give me a funny video this week, but here's some stories. Semi-driver granted bail after allegedly killing 2 in a crash, fleeing the country. An Ontario truck driver who is accused of killing a mother and daughter in a fatal crash near Altona, Manitoba, has been granted bail after previously fleeing the country for months.
Yes. And then he came back.
And they caught him.
You know what? It's probably fine. I'm sure he feels real bad about it. You want to see a video? This is on 16th in Calgary. Look at the car that's being pushed by this semi. As in, like, they had a collision and the semi just keeps driving and keeps pushing this car. That's presumably the brakes wheeling.
Where is this?
That's it's kind of up by where Sate is.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but there's no video for you this week.
You didn't show me the video. I mean, how was I supposed to know? You know, Tooz does this to me every week, folks. He gets there and then he just slides in there. Oh, you didn't see the video? It's like, how could I see the video if you didn't show me?
Talk like that.
You sound something all right. Alberta cracking down on unsafe, reckless commercial trucking practices. The Alberta government on Friday announced sweeping changes aimed at cracking down on what is said are unsafe commercial driving training schools and bad actors in the trucking industry. The province said the ramped up enforcement includes more oversight of driver training schools and carriers through inspections, audits, and targeted investigations. The transportation minister said the province is going after reckless operators who ignore the rules. Anyone cutting corners or operating unsafe trucks will be removed from our roads. That's Devin Dreeshen. So far, the province said it has ordered the closure of 5 driver training schools. In addition, the province said it has issued 39 disciplinary letters, more than 100,000 in administrative penalties, 6 corrective actions, revoked 12 instructor licenses, and sent 4 warning letters to driver examiners. The province said it is also targeting a misclassified driver scheme known as Drivers Inc., where companies hire drivers as independent contractors to avoid payroll taxes and benefits. The drivers often lack appropriate or proper training and oversight and are vulnerable to exploitation. And 13 commercial trucking companies have also been removed from Alberta roads due to poor on-road performance, unsafe equipment, or failure to meet the mandatory safety requirements. And of those, the province said 7 were identified as chameleon carriers, companies that try to avoid regulatory oversight by changing names, creating new entities, or relocating operations across jurisdictions.
Yeah. So they're finally, this is the mashup effect. As far as I know, we're the only people who've been looking at all of these and putting them together and saying this is a problem in Canada. And
well, it was Chuck on the podcast last week too, who was like, I was just driving here and it was wild, right? Like you can't find somebody on the road. I mean, that video of the semi pushing the car, that is wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's from Caledon OPP. So in Ontario, stop this commercial vehicle after noticing several missing tires. Result, operating with only 6 of its 20 tires, expired annual safety, multiple missing and improperly completed documents, driver and company charged. Commercial vehicle put out of service. Look at this. There's no tires on the back. They've got dualies with just the outside tires on. 6 of 20 tires.
This is another one out in Ontario. Fire truck got hit. Nobody seriously injured, but yeah, fire truck gets drilled by a semi. Right? Like,
yeah, it's a problem, and hopefully it will be one that is taken care of at some point. And I like the fact that the UCP is doing something about it.
Let's get on to some of the goofy, shall we?
Yeah.
If some of this isn't goofy enough already. Halifax Gym removes race-based pricing after criticism says it was not meant to be exclusive.
Yes. So they charge double for white people. And then that kind of went viral on the internet. And you said, well, you can't really discriminate against races. It's kind of racist. And so then they're like, well, it wasn't supposed to be discriminatory.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be.
Now, I don't know what they thought it was going to be other than fucking retarded. And so they went back on it.
Thomas Lukaszek is going around Alberta.
Yep. And yeah, in Rimbey, local artist Heather Hull presented me with a painting that she created for #ForeverCanadian. The bear's heart is a maple leaf. Can you go to the next picture over? I just want to point this out. Look at all the maple leaves in there. And look at how inaccurate they are compared to what an actual maple leaf looks like. Do you know why that is, Sean?
Why?
Because Rimbey is about 1,000 miles away from the closest maple leaf that actually grows in nature. And so even though she's trying to talk about how important it is to be Canadian, she doesn't actually know what the maple leaf looks like because she's probably never seen it because they don't grow on this half of the country.
You know who's also becoming a fan favorite of this show? Doug Ford. Show me a Doug Ford video, please.
Which one do you want to see?
I want to see him eating first. We saw him pour out the bottle of Crown, and we all are like, what is going on? The next.
Well, he did this, and this was a couple weeks ago.
I know. I know.
So
we didn't show this video on the mashup when he did it.
And I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but
a Yukon. These are absolutely delicious. You have to go to the store and buy one. And these are the best ice cream sandwiches anywhere. But you have to try both of them. Try all their products. But I'm going to try it right now. This is absolutely.
I'm going to try right now.
This is
can't help
a
himself.
press conference
but you can
that
start
the
asking me
Premier is
questions whenever.
having, where he's eating an ice cream sandwich.
Caramel in the middle. I tried.
Okay, this is not made up. He also did the one where he was pouring out the booze.
Right line, any business person with half a brain would go after their largest customer in North America. Diageo, we do over $765 million, more than any jurisdiction anywhere in the US or in Canada. And they want to close down a plant over what, $8 million of wages they think they're going to save? The LCBO is the largest purchaser of alcohol in the entire world. And I'll use that leverage to make sure we send a signal that we're pulling Crown Royal off our shelves as soon as the last person leaves that plant. And they can deal with it. And then we'll look at Smirnoff's next.
Look at the lighting on this. Kind of 1984 sort of thing. I mean, it's crazy. Like this, Doug Ford has done press conferences about booze and ice cream so many times in the past several weeks. Just imagine talking to your 25-year-old self. Just, you could make a phone call to the past. You'd be like, look, dude. And how's it going? Oh, yeah, it's going great. I'm a little hungover today because that's all I do in my 20s. Cool. Well, what's it like in the future? You guys have flying cars? No, but in 2025, one of the premiers of Canada is going to spend a disproportionate amount of time devoted to press conferences about ice cream sandwiches and booze. You'd be like, oh, that's awesome. No, you don't get it. It sucks. These are all bad. Everything is so bad in 2025 that a politician doing press conferences about ice cream sandwiches and booze somehow manages, even within that concept, to be a bad thing. And meanwhile, there's plants closing all over the place. Like Ford's closing another plant.
Work this out for me.
Do you think he's gonna jack up a Ford Focus and just drain the oil out of it?
Work this out for me. Okay. So he says LCBO is the largest purchaser of any jurisdiction in North America for Crown Royal, correct? That's what I heard.
He just said largest purchaser of alcohol in the world.
In jurisdiction in North America. And they just opened up private ownership of liquor stores in Ontario, correct?
Yes, and they gave out $225 million to keep a bunch of them from closing.
Right.
As they're all
So
closing.
if you're sitting there as a private owner of a liquor store and you hear that Crown Royal and they're going to go after Smirnoff and all these companies, wouldn't you just be like, create a brand of we have Crown Royal and Smirnoff?
Yep.
And
you could just open the Crown and Smirnoff store.
And what's going to happen is this Crown
is going.
That's what I hear.
That's what happens with government entities.
We're gonna stop buying that. Well, it is your customers want it, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there as a private business, you're like, we got Crown over here. Just come on over here.
Yeah.
We'll take
Thanks,
your money.
Doug Ford. You're doing great. I'm going to vote for you next time too.
That's right. You're making my business just
Meanwhile, you're just like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of the money counters. He's an idiot. Like Tsingtao. Okay, so China's got a whole bunch of tariffs against us. He's not pulling Tsingtao beer off the shelf. And where's the ideological consistency? There is none.
There is none.
You know what does have good consistency, though? The Chapman Brothers ice cream sandwiches.
What Canadians should know about COVID-19 amid spike in outbreaks and hospitalizations?
Now, nothing.
Thank you. Halifax firefighters warn of rising lithium battery fires.
Great.
I could read a bit about it if you prefer.
Well, no. Just let's just take this as a concept and run with it. So, lithium ion batteries, the rechargeable ones, the green technology of the future, the stuff we need to do to save the trees, is causing fires, which presumably are killing the trees. Have you ever seen like any of the old campy, like the original Star Treks before The Next Generation, the original Star Trek?
The original? Yeah,
the
for
old
sure.
Ones.
I mean, it used to be on what, Sundays? I want to say Sundays afternoon it came on.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
But also, that those were decades old reruns at that point.
Yes, they were.
And super campy. And there's this one episode where they're being trapped by like these androids and a bunch of fembots, and they've got they use like a logical fallacy to short circuit the brain of the android. So this guy stands there and he says, "Everything I say is a lie." And the android's like, "Okay." He says, "I am lying." And then the android goes, if you told the truth in the first one, you can't be lying in the second one. But you said that it, and a whole bunch of smoke comes out of his head. That's literally it. It's like, okay, well, we need lithium batteries to save the planet. Okay. But they're starting fires that's burning down the planet. Okay. Oh, lithium batteries save planet. Fires destroy planet. Lithium starts fires.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is said on Tuesday she had two of her
tweet. Sean, read the tweet.
Read the tweet. Oh, I didn't read the tweet. Bring up the tweet.
Read the tweet. Okay, I'll read.
I don't
the
have
tweet. I'll bring up the tweet. You read it word for word. Read it word for word.
Bring it up closer if you can. Italy PM Meloni says been denounced to ICC for complicity in genocide.
That's exactly what it says, word for word. Italy PM Meloni says been denounced to ICC for complicity in genocide. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
That's CTV News.
CTV News, folks.
You're going to show this video, I assume. California Democrat.
Voted for Trump.
I don't know if I think you need to fast forward at about 2 minutes where she talks about I don't want to have an unhappy experience.
I think this is
The
probably
question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care.
Follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these. And if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you. And I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting, it's a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions.
Yeah, that was something.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience, Tews. That's
just
if you're going to ask 7 follow-up questions, it's like, oh, it's kind of what reporting is.
Well, yeah, and it was so, I don't know. It sucked because it was a long video, but the start of it just said, okay, well, there's, 40%.
What are you going to do about 40%
and she was like, fuck them, basically. Not literally, but she's like, I don't need them. And then the lady's like, so you plan on winning by getting every single other vote? And she's like, well, no, I didn't say that. I'm going to try and get all the votes I can. And she's like, well, wait a sec, but you just said. And so, yeah, it's the Android short circuiting all over again.
Kamala Harris. I assume you want to show this video?
No, but the world needs to see it. Tell you what, we'll show like the first, 10, 20 seconds of it. This is Kamala Harris, and watch
at Howard University
because she's a little stumbly on her feet.
I am so proud of all of you. You know how privileged I feel to have been educated at Howard University. There is so much about everything I have achieved, and I've been the first to do many things because of being here when I was your age, knowing that everything that I'm being told and can feel tells us we can be
rambling, incoherent mess.
It's Kamala Harris.
Yeah, but seriously, like, watch that video and tell me you don't think she's drunk.
It's Kamala Harris. I mean, I don't know. She could be drunk all the time for all I care. I mean, it would actually make more sense on some of the things she says. You know how much time I give Kamala Harris in my brain? That much, too.
Yeah, that's
That
fair.
much. Vehicles registered to Ford cabinet ministers caught by speed cameras more than 20 times.
Yeah, so this is actually, you know what? I mean, we were like, the Ford government's going to get rid of speed cameras. That's actually, I mean, it's bullshit because they shouldn't be the ones deciding it. But hey, it's kind of a good thing. Like, it's a good thing going about it the wrong way. What are they doing? They get everything else wrong, but they're kind of doing this one right. Well, it turns out it's because they keep getting photo radar tickets. So they're like, we're going to get rid of
We got to
this
stop
thing.
this.
Yeah. If we keep getting photo radar tickets, this is going to be a problem. Well, so we're going to stop speeding then? No, we're going to get rid of photo radar.
Keir Starmer. You want to show the video blocking the ban on cousin marriage in the UK?
Yes. Yeah. So I guess we got a bit to cover here. So right off the bat, here's
A marriage between first cousins carries significant health issues, many of which aren't even knowable until post-birth. When practiced generation after generation, there is a significant multiplier effect. In addition, the real impacts for the openness of our society and women's rights in our country are also significant. After all, there are significant dynamics in sharing the same set of grandparents. On Friday, this government has a choice to let my bill go through to ban first cousin marriage to committee stage. Will the Prime Minister think again before instructing his whips to block this legislation?
Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we've taken our position on that bill. Thank you.
Yes. So they want to legalize first cousin marriage. And this is the third week that we've been talking about this, Sean. And it was really interesting. So the first week, we mentioned it, and your butthole tightened up like a mouse's ass. And then the second week, I was pressing you on it, and I was asking, I was like, well, what's the deal with this? Why did you get so weird at the end? And you were redder than a ripe tomato wrapped in a Chinese flag.
Okay.
And it was so weird because I was asking you, well, you know, which is your hottest cousin? And interesting thing, well, you talk to people for a living, and so you could probably say this just as well as anybody else, but it's not so much the asking question sometimes as it is asking the right question.
Okay.
And so I decided to do a little digging. And so I called up one of your brothers. And we were chatting for a little bit about Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. And then I asked him about this, and he says, oh, hold on, I'm going to lose you in a tunnel. In Lloydminster, he's going to lose me in a tunnel. Little bit suspicious. Oh, sorry, can't hear you. Like, okay, well, that's weird. Call up another one of your brothers. And he said, and I quote, because I said, well, you know, so, I mean, I didn't think it was this, but I thought I'd just ask to make sure. I was like, did he, you know, he get caught like in a treehouse with his hand up his cousin's shirt at some point or something? And no, nothing like that ever happened. But okay, well, I said, well, do you guys have a really hot cousin? Because you and your brothers will have the same set of cousins. And so that's when the tunnel happened. And then your other brother said, I got to plead the fifth on this. And I'm like, what the hell? Why am I getting stonewalled? I can't get a straight answer from Sean. I'm reaching out to all these people in his family, and the wagons are circled like the Indians are coming over the ridge. What is going on here? And that's where the interesting thing happens, is because I'm asking, do you guys have a hot cousin? And then I kept on digging, just digging a little deeper, widening that crack a little bit so I could go in and see. And it turns out that I was asking the wrong question when I asked you if you had a hot cousin, Sean. For those of you who don't know this about Sean.
Do I have like a super hot cousin that's like super famous or something?
No,
like, are we talking about Paul Newman's wife or something?
You don't have a hot cousin.
Okay.
You got twins as cousins. You've got cousins who are twins.
You're such a dork. You know this? Like So we do this show every week, and Tuz has been on this for like 3 weeks, folks. We're just digging. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous conversation I've ever had in my
Why
life.
is everybody so cagey about it? It's because you got twins. Twins is cousins.
Because
you
think
don't
it's
have
strange,
it's not which is your hottest cousin because it's a tie.
I think this is the strangest conversation I've ever had with you, and your fixation on it is probably more problematic than anything else. That's what I think. So,
twins.
All right.
And
Can
then,
we move
and then
on?
all of a sudden we show
Like-
up, we get on this call or on this show here before we go live. And he says, "Oh, look, we're twins. And I'm like, what is with your obsession with twins?
You know, when I had on, who is the numbers guy? Why can't I think of his name?
Boyd Anderson.
He's going to come back on, by the way. I'm bringing him
Yes.
back on. Okay. Your fixation on this is Boyd Anderson-esque.
Well, why couldn't I get a straight answer? Like it just ended
I've
up being
given you
this
straight
crazy
answers multiple
conspiracy
times.
thing. Like it was just it was basically
I've
the
given you a straight
Pelican
answer
Brief.
every time.
I felt like I was in a John Grisham novel. Like, what's going on
Welcome
here?
to Mashup 179, where the saga of this cousin
We
discussion
finally got an answer.
continues on. Sure.
We finally got an answer.
All right. Liberal MP. You want to show the video?
Oh, I don't even remember where we're at. Yes.
This is what I put up with every bloody week, folks.
Actually, no. This is the first time we've ever talked about the twins.
If it isn't in the show notes where he, I swear, literally leaves things out just to catch me off guard, it's this. Anyways, carry on.
The Liberal Party, we're going to take away your internet. We're going to take away your cell phones. We're going to deny you the opportunity to do your banking. And they come up with this whole conspiracy wearing not necessarily wearing a tin hat, but this conspiracy theory, how big government's going to take everything away when the legislation is all about protecting Canadians, protecting the economy.
I wonder what Evan Chippy has to say about that.
Yes, I know. Or others.
We literally covered last week the CTV being like, oh, well, this is kind of a surprising thing that doesn't really happen very often. Hey, look at the Online News Act. They totally got rid of people's ability to share this stuff on the internet. They froze everybody's bank accounts during the convoy. It's all a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory.
It's freaking politics, man. It's just, the guys are morons. We're governed by morons. We're led. You remember Spaceballs? I'm surrounded
what
by
is that?
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We're surrounded by idiots. Like, I mean, we just are. You listen to them and you're like, I don't think this guy thought through what he was thinking.
Schwartz is not very strong with these people, Sean.
Correct. The Schwartz is not very strong. Largest meth seizure in New Zealand history arrived in maple syrup bottles from Vancouver.
Isn't that interesting?
And
I don't know what you say to that. You know, we try and say there's a drug problem and we get called conspiracy theorists. And then, no, it's not maple syrup. Like you think it, like you go to pick up a jug of maple syrup and something rattles inside. Maybe you get a little bit suspicious.
In parallel, Australian authorities launched Operation Parks after the Canada Border Service Agency identified another suspicious Canadian export, 18 pallets of canola oil shipped from Vancouver to Melbourne. That also was methamphetamine. 3 tons of methamphetamine, one of the largest hauls in Australian history.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's nice. Like in Canada, sure, we've got our own vineyards, but we can import some really nice things from Australia and California and Spain and Italy and things like that. I wonder if meth people are like that. Like, oh yes, we've got this really nice vintage from the Okanagan.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
go.
Is that even what meth usually looks like? I
have
kind
no
of pictured it looking less dirty. That just looks like rabbit shit.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what it looks like. So,
Like, is it supposed to look like that?
I have no idea. No idea, too. I think that's probably a healthy thing that neither one of us knows what it looks like, but I have no idea. I also had something in my mind pictured differently, but I don't know. This is
Yeah,
what
I pictured
this
kinda
is
like
what this is
sugar
what it
crystals.
shows. Yeah, I agree with you. There you go. That's what it shows. Although if I scroll over, there is a ton of white bags, so that's probably what was in there. Maybe this was
Okay,
packed
so
around
what
it.
I don't know, like, if you're gonna pack it in rabbit shit, just like, if it looks just like rabbit shit, why not just pack it as rabbit shit?
We got 18 tons of rabbit shit.
You know, the thing about meth heads is that they really lack both quality control and quality assurance.
Crime in Edmonton is so bad that Rexall drugstores is taking perfume out of the stores when they close.
Yeah. Like,
Here, I'll
that's
pull up the sign. There you go.
so, you know, that no cash left on premises overnight sign that's been
Yeah,
up since like the
this-
80s? No perfume left on premise overnight.
So
Attention, all fragrances are removed at the end of the day. Please
this-
don't break in. We've taken all the valuable shit home with us.
Is that what it is? Is they're stealing it because perfume is valuable?
Yeah, that's literally what's going on here.
Hmm.
This is an attempt to discourage break-ins.
All right. Well, sure. All right. Happy news. Shall we do some happy news?
Let's do some happy news.
Divers explored a 300-year-old shipwreck and found treasure worth $1 million. The 1715 treasure fleet, one of Spain's famed plate fleets, has sat shipwrecked off the coast of Florida for over 300 years. This summer, a certified salvage company maneuvered to a fleet and pulled up 1,000 silver coins valued at over $1 million.
What kind of coins?
Real de Plata.
Real
de Plata. There you go. Coins were minted across the then Spanish colonies of Mexico, Peru, and Bolivia. That's me and two. If we share a similar, we love a good heist. We love a good shipwreck. Am I right, Twos? Yeah. And this
our plan is to get a catamaran and just go scuba diving and find some sunken treasure. Like that's what I want to do when I don't have to work anymore. I want to get on a boat, go fishing every day, drink whatever booze is local, and scuba
and go dive it
for
and dive for treasure.
Sunken treasure.
How about this one? Worker accidentally paid 330 times his wages, quits, then wins fight to keep it.
Yes. So somebody accidentally, I don't know, their cat walked across the keyboard while they were doing payroll or something.
He was supposed to earn 386 euros a month. They paid him 127,000 a month.
And then they said, we screwed up. You're gonna have to give us that money back. And he said, yeah, sure, okay, I will. And then left and never came back. Which, to be fair, is something that all of us would do.
Sure.
Your regular, like back when you were a regular 9-to-5 guy. What's this? This isn't in there.
Connor freaking
This isn't in there.
McDavid signs for an extra 2 years at 12.5. That's big news. It's big news.
How is that
dude.
big news?
That's happy news.
It's
happy news. That's what it is.
The best. Like there isn't
They're
a
what?
team in
They're
the
what?
NHL that's a better culture fit for him. I'm glad that he's found his people.
Sounds like a Calgary Flames fan to me, folks.
It's weird that they didn't have the picture of him with the rainbow hockey tape.
2 years, another 2 years at 12.5. That's the best player in the game.
How did they do against the Flames on Wednesday? How did that game end up?
They lost in the 9th round of the shootout.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, which I mean,
typical Flames fan worried about game one, not 82. How's the playoffs been
Calgary
going?
Flames
How's the playoffs been going?
You guys have to be really careful when it comes to playing against the Oilers, because if you beat them too badly, it could be considered a hate crime.
Yeah. How's playoffs been going, too?
About the same for us as it has been for you.
And here's one other one that I think
you're gonna bring up the Jays.
The
Yeah.
Jays. Blue Jays moving on as well. I think
they won in 4.
Yeah. Knocked off the Yankees, and honestly, they're a fun team to watch right now.
Yep.
They play ball a fun way. So that was cool. And the story of Trey Usavage,
I don't
him
know
coming
that
out
story.
his fourth game in the MLB, 11 Ks in 5 innings in game 2.
Oh, really? I didn't
Went
see that.
from
I
I
didn't
think
watch
it's
the second
single A
game.
ball at the start of the year to the MLB, and he
Oh,
walked in like a
really?
boss and just was like, pretty wild stuff. And every once in a while, sports gives us something that is
That's kind of like the Zamboni driver that beat the Maple Leafs.
Community events. All right, we got a whole bunch here. I'm gonna go to the text here before I bring up
Fire
on
them
screen.
off real quick.
Okay, Senlac Gun Show, October 18th and 19th, Senlac, Saskatchewan, Saturday 10 a.m. to
Oh,
5 p.m.
no. Actually, bring that up and read through it. So, or here, how about this?
What are you talking about?
They've got Buffalo Burgers, prize. There's a raffle. Henry Lever Action 22 rifle is first prize. Have you ever used a Henry Action?
I don't know.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, it's
So
the one
chances are
where,
not.
okay, it's basically got like a plunger. So you put the 22s in, and then there's like this spring-loaded plunger that goes in to help feed the lever action. So it's basically impossible to reload on the fly. But a very cool old gun.
APP Rise Up Alberta Independence Freedom Rally, Freedom Firearms Rally. Let's make this the biggest statement in the history of Alberta. Alberta Legislature South Grounds, Saturday, October 25th, 4 to 6 p.m. So that's
Finally
coming.
a reason to go to Edmonton.
And then, October 14th here in Lloydminster, the Health Charter Tour is in town. The World's Greatest Health Show, Sean Buckley, 7 p.m. at the Legacy Center. But they're making here, I'll see if I can back this up a bit. They're making a huge tour across Canada. So right now, you can see where they're on their tour, and they're going right across Canada. You can go to nhppa.org, Health Charter Tour, and find out all the different stops they're going to be making across Canada. So that's going on. You have the Prairie Rising Forum. There's a few days left to get that. You can go prairierisingforum.ca. Here's some of the speakers. I'll widen this out. There we go. Wayne Peters. I'm tapped on the shoulder to host that. Matthew Arrett, Martin Armstrong, Bryce Wade, Brett Oland, Tiana Truth Seeker, Dom Lucic, Zach Schmidt, Mitch Sylvester, Tom Marazzo, Jamie Sinclair. Chris Barber and Tamara Leach are going to be Zoom calling in, obviously, with the announcement of 18 months house arrest. They can't be in person. But if you're wanting tickets for that, they're on sale until October 12th. So that's this Sunday. That's Prairie Rising Forum coming to Regina, October 18th. What else do I got for you here? We have, scroll down, Shannon Hines. Shout out to Shannon Hines. Is running for school trustee in Ward 1 of Foothills School Division, which includes the towns of Longview and Diamond Valley. She believes in doing the basics of education while putting as much personnel and resources on the front line. Election is October 20th for all those positions. We have October 25th is Prophet River's Customer Appreciation Day. Rod Giltaca is going to be in Lloydminster for that. And then the big one, October 26th, at least for me, is Shooting Guns with Rod Giltaca, Chuck Prodnick, Jamie Sinclair at the Lloydminster District Fish and Game Association Indoor Range. And Prophet River is supplying the ammunition for that. It's $20 to attend. You just got to text me. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a text. That's in Lloydminster, October 26th here in Lloydminster. Quick Dick McDick is live November 22nd in Lashburn.
Which is a great name for a place. It's like they named it after how I looked when I started to learn how to play with gasoline as a kid.
Okay. Anyways, all the proceeds going at, I got the QR code up top. If anyone's interested, you can get tickets for that. But he's live in Lashburn, November 22nd. All the proceeds going to new playset for the elementary school. S&P Christmas party. This was cool. I was having a good day yesterday.
Mhm.
I think I might have one table left too. I pretty much sold out yesterday. I got a meeting with the Gold Horse Casino to see if we can squeeze another table in. But if anyone's interested in that, time is running out on to even get a table. That's December 20th. The Dueling Pianos back in Lloydminster. The Mash Spiel here. Let's pull
The
this
Mash
up.
Spiel.
Mash Spiel, there you go, is going to be January 17th in Kalmar, Alberta, just west of the Edmonton airport. That is, we got under 15 teams left. We sold our first team. So folks, $50 a person, $200 a team. It's going to be a fun community event. Trying to get all of you lovely people together. And it's, we had 16 teams. Now we're down to under 15 teams. Actually, it's 14 teams. Who are we kidding?
Yeah.
It's going to be 14 teams left. So if you want to get in on that, talk
And
to your buddies. And
we're looking for prizes too. So unless you're a crystal meth dealer who imports fake maple syrup, we would and you know what? We'd probably find a spot for it anyway.
First prize is a thing of maple syrup. What's that? No, it's rat shit. It's rabbit shit.
It's actually meth. Could you imagine just giving out a bag of meth at a bond spiel?
To be clear, there will be
what
no
did you
math.
think this was, Brandon?
Yeah, no math will be there. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this isn't Swan River, guys.
Do I know if Prairie Rising will be recorded to watch later? I believe they're recording it. Yes. If I get more details on that, I will update it here as we get closer to the event. I believe they're recording it. So if they're recording it, I assume they'll be putting it out later, but I don't know that for sure. I'll find out for anyone interested in that thought. And then finally, Cornerstone Forum returns March 28th at the in Calgary at the Westin Calgary Airport. Tickets going on sale soon is what I'll keep saying. But we can confirm, I just had on Alex Craner. He was the first announced speaker, and Vince Lanchi is coming on next week. So pay attention for that, folks. Cornerstone Forum returns March 28th in Calgary, and tickets for that will be going on right away. Tues, Mashup 179. We're here every week, Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you enjoy the show, share it out with a friend. Sign up for the YouTube page so you never miss it. And
thank you
just
for tuning in.
Yeah, appreciate you all being here. And until next week, 180 coming up next week, Tues. Till then, big fella, nice shirt today.
Yeah, you too. Twins, right?
And if you ever did as much investigating on this cousin thing as you do on
Sorry, what was that?
You'd be one hell of a journalist. That's all I'm just going to say. All right, folks. We'll catch up to you next week.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the